Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Courtney. Today I've got a very simple home decor DIY you can make with a mason jar, and that's going to be a Kleenex holder. So I knew that I wanted a pretty Kleenex holder. Right now in my guest room, I just have the box, and I know you can Mod Podge scrapbook paper on it, you can cover it in burlap, you can buy the covers, but I just didn't want any of that. And I knew I wanted something cute for in there as well as in my craft room. And so basically I went on Pinterest and I typed in cute Kleenex holder and a picture of a mason jar came up. So of course when I went to go click on it, it was like a picture that a person had uploaded and there was no other information about it or who did it or whatever. So the picture I found, I can't really give credit to the person, but it was on Pinterest. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, that's what I'm gonna do because I always have mason jars around. And I just figured out how I wanted to make mine. So here is your timestamp to get straight to the supplies in the tutorial. For the rest of you, at the end of this video, I will have my little Q&A. I've got craft related questions I've been getting, as well as some get to know me. So if you want to watch that, it'll be at the very end. And then right now, very quickly, I've been getting a lot of questions about the Shabby hearts. People asking if they missed a tutorial or a video. Those were done on my Facebook Live Craft with me, but I'm going to quickly show you how I made them because it's super easy and people were asking how did I stake them and all that good stuff. So let me just talk you through it very quickly in case you didn't get to see it. All right, so these right here are the plastic mini candy canes from Dollar Tree. And my first step was just to glue them together, and you have to have a little patience. I did a little bit of glue here and I held it, and then I would do, like once that dried, I'd do a loop around and let it dry and do it again on both points, okay? It's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of have to hold it steady, but it'll get the job done. Then once I did that, at the bottom of it, I glued one of these little floral sticks that I had. You could use a dowel rod from Dollar Tree if you wanted to. I just hot glued it on there, again, just putting layers and layers to get it secure. And then I started wrapping the fabric down here to help secure it. And then I just went all the way around. I didn't secure it with glue as I wrapped it. I only secured down here, and that's it. If you've seen my candy cane tutorial, it's the same process of how I wrap those. You can find that video during my Christmas DIYs. Again, same process. So that's how I did this one. You can fray it, you can, fray the fabric, do whatever you want. You could do ribbon if you wanted to. You don't have to do fabric, but that's basically how I made that and got it in there. The other one was this one. Same process, glued the two candy canes together, put the stake on the bottom, wrapped it with fabric to secure it. And then for these, I just made, they were about 4 inches long, about, I don't know, ½ an inch wide maybe. And I just made cut strips of fabric, and then I just tied it one time and kind of pushed the little knots to the outside. I didn't double knot it or anything. And yeah, that's how I made this raggedy looking one like that. Again, with the stake, same process. So there you go. Hopefully that answers the questions that I've been getting about these. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm happy to answer them. And yeah, I guess that's it. So without further ado, let's get into this project. For this project, you will need a 1 quart mason jar, the regular mouth, some chalk paint in whatever color you choose, some twine, some matte Mod Podge with a foam brush, the Perfect Fit Kleenex, you can buy a 4-pack at Target, a piece of foam, and some stencils, stickers, Cricut sticker, vinyl, whatever you want to put on the front, and your glue gun, X-Acto knife, and a pair of scissors. So your first step is to paint your mason jar. I'm using the Serenity Blue chalked paint by Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to end up putting 3 coats of paint with a foam brush on my mason jar. You certainly don't have to do this. You could Mod Podge on scrapbook paper, tissue paper. You could wrap it in rope. You don't have to paint it if you don't want to. There's a lot of options, but I'm gonna go ahead and put on, like I said, 3 coats, letting it dry a little bit. You'll notice that I am taking the paint up to the top, making sure to paint the lip and a little bit above the lip because that will actually show when you screw the lid back on. So that's what I'm going to work on now, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. right, so while my paint is drying on my mason jar, I'm gonna work on the top. And basically what I'm taking is the little insert here. I'm just going to trace around it with a pencil on a piece of foam. I bought this roll of white foam from Hobby Lobby a long time ago. And I'm just gonna cut around the circle. Now, you could use other stuff besides foam. I would imagine you could use cardstock. You could use felt. I think the one that I saw on Pinterest, she used cardstock, but I was just afraid it was gonna get a little torn up after use. So once I've cut the circle out, I'm going to go ahead and cut an X in here, and this will allow the Kleenex to come out. And again, I'm using foam because I feel like it's a little sturdier in cardstock, and especially felt, because once you rub felt after a while, it starts to get the kind of fuzzy fray. So that is what I'm gonna do. Now, I've cut this out, so I'm going to go ahead and start applying my second coat of paint to my mason jar. And then after that, I'll continue working on my lid. Alright, again, while that's drying, I'm going to keep working on my lid. So now I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to put a bead of glue inside the lid. Now, just remember that when you do this, that lid will get hot. Actually, it got really hot, so just be careful when you're putting the glue in there. And then I will take my little foam piece and I'm just going to stick it down in there and secure it in the top of the lid. And then once it's secure, it'll be ready to go on top of my Kleenex holder. Now, after staring at this Kleenex, I realized there is another option for your top besides foam. If you pop the top of this off and then very carefully pop this little white, well, I don't know what to call it, Kleenexy thing of the Kleenex holder, you actually can use this instead of foam, cardstock, what have you. So here I'm just going to show you, it fits perfectly inside the mason jar, and you could glue it in there, and then you'd have this as an option. I just didn't really like the look of that, so that's why I went ahead and left the foam, but there's another option for you if you don't want to use the foam. Okay, now all my paint is on my mason jar and I am ready to seal this. Now I'm just going to, I decided not to sand it, I'm just kind of rubbing the ball part of the mason jar and I was just going to leave it as is. I'm just using Mod Podge to seal this because I ran out of the clear spray. I do highly recommend sealing this in some shape or form. Now, I am going to seal this and then put my Cricut vinyl sticker on there, but if you are going to use stickers or attach a piece of paper that you printed out and put on there, get all of that attached first and then seal over everything. So again, I'm sealing first and then putting my Cricut vinyl on, but if you're using stickers, if you're stenciling on with paint, any other option, put everything on it that you want and then seal it as your last step. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one coat of the Mod Podge and then I'll be ready to do the next step. Okay, my jar is nice and dry and now I'm just going to apply my little Cricut vinyl sticker that I made. If you saw the picture of the one I posted on Facebook, it was a little bit different design than this one, but for this one, this is going in my craft room, so this was the design I made. I'm just going to attach this and then I'll be ready to add the twine. Now it is time to attach my twine, so I'm just going to take some hot glue, flip it over to the back, put a little dot of hot glue, and then I'm just going to wrap it around 3 times and then again secure it in the back. And then after I do that, I realized I wanted to put a little bit more twine on top of the lip of the jar here, so you'll see me do that in a second, and then I'm almost done with this project. Okay, the twine's on there, so now I'm just tying a little bow to add to the front, And then once I get my bow put on, I am ready to start putting the Kleenex into the container. So I'm just going to take a little dab of hot glue and glue it onto the front here. Just try to center it the best I can. And now comes the super easy part, which is to take the Kleenex. You literally just pull this out. It's already wrapped, meant for a cylinder. And then boom, you just stick it straight in there. You kind of pull it up a little bit so that you can grab it out. Screw your top on, and then pull your Kleenex out of it, and ta-da! You have yourself a nice little Kleenex holder, and it looks really cute, I think. So again, I'm gonna add a little bit of extra twine, as you can see right there where I'm showing you. I'm gonna go back and put a little twine, and then this project is almost finished. All right, and here's the finished product, the empty, boring mason jar into a cute little Kleenex holder. So again, you can make this for any holiday you want. I'm planning to make some for Christmas as gifts. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned if you want to watch the Q&A. Until next time, see you later. All right, guys, those of you sticking around want to know a little bit more about my crafting stuff and maybe a little bit more about me. So I've got some questions that people ask. Some of these are questions I get quite frequently, so hopefully I can get them answered for you guys. All right, first question, most probably popular question. What is your glue gun tool and where did you get it? Okay, so I put some stuff here. This is my glue gun tool. What is it really? It's a sculpting tool. Where did I get it? I stole it from my daughter's room. Yep, I sure did. She hasn't even noticed that I took it, and I really like it. But I really do like this one just because I do have another one that I've used before, but this one's my favorite. On one end, it has this, if I can get you guys to see it, I don't know if y'all can tell. It's kind of sharp a little bit, and it goes. And what's great about this end is when you're putting glue, sometimes you get extra blobs, you get the little drips. If you let it dry just a little bit, this is sharp enough that you can actually kind of rub this on whatever the surface is, and it just kind of cuts that glue off for you. So I like this end for that. And then of course this rounded end is great for just, pushing it down and kind of, you can tuck if you're gluing in something deep and you need to push in and tuck. So this is my favorite. You can buy sculpting tools, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I've even seen them at Dollar Tree. So yeah. That's my fancy glue gun tool, is a sculpting tool that I stole from my daughter. So we'll see if she ever notices that I took it. She probably won't because she has a bazillion tools in her room. All right, where did you get your glue gun? Okay, my latest glue gun is this Ryobi cordless glue gun. It has a battery pack that goes right here. I got it at Home Depot. I absolutely love it. It works great. The only thing about it that I don't like, which I'm actually going to reach out to Ryobi and ask them, is that it has a constant drip. I don't know if it's just mine or if any of you guys have this one. Please tell me if yours drips as well. But it runs on a battery and it stays on for 3.5 hours charge, and it stays hot. A lot of cordless ones, the temperature doesn't stay hot for as long. My other little black one that you'll see me use, which can also go cordless, you can put batteries in it. I bought it at Hobby Lobby. And that's one of those, like, it'll stay hot even if it's on its battery. I think it's what did it say? I think it advertised 45 minutes, but after about 20 minutes it starts getting cool and you have to plug it back in. But that one I got at Hobby Lobby, like I said. And if you didn't know, Hobby Lobby actually has 2 spots in its store where it sells glue guns. One is like with all the Mod Podge and all that stuff. The other one's with the paper crafts, and that's where I got my little black one, which I should have pulled it down to show you guys, but you've seen it in some of my videos. So that's my other one that I will use. But right now I'm loving this one except for the constant drip. So I'll update you and let you know what I find out about this. Unless some of you have it, please tell me if yours drips, and then that's just the way it goes. Yeah. Okay, next question. What type of music do you listen to when you craft? Yes, I do have a playlist when I craft. It is always the same artists on it. Chris Stapleton, Garth Brooks, George Strait, Willie Nelson, Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, who else? A little bit of Journey, Lindsey Sterling, and the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. I think those are my, yeah. Oh, and then I like any of the Rat Pack, like Dean Martin, Nat King Cole, any of those guys, Rat Pack artists. So that's my playlist. I do have a certain playlist for when I come in the craft room, and that's what I listen to. Let's see, how many kids do you have? I have 3. 16, one that just turned 14, and then one about to turn 11. 2 girls and a boy. What is a random fact about you? Do you have other passions besides crafting? Yes. Okay, so my other passion besides crafting is playing, is music. I can play the piano and I can play the ukulele. Piano, I've been playing since I was in 3rd grade. The ukulele, I self-taught myself as an adult. And I do try to play one of either instrument every day. I can play chords on the guitar, so guitar is self-taught as well. I don't play it as much as the other 2, but I do try to play every single day one of my instruments. So, and once upon a time, I could play the flute in 6th grade band, but I only was in band for 2 months and then I quit. So I'm a quitter. Okay, what are your staple craft supplies? Okay, my glue gun, twine, my little birdie scissors that I've shown you guys a million times. I bought these at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Love these scissors. My glue gun tool. I should like market an official glue gun tool. My craft notebook that I've shown you guys. Let's see. I'll probably need my little sketchbook too. This little doobie dauber that I know I've shown you. It's a little tabletop vacuum that I bought on Amazon for like $8 or something like that, $6 or $8, and it is fantastic, especially if you're working with glitter. Like it just, you just swirl it on the desk like that, and it picks up, you know, if you're sanding, it picks up the dust, it picks up scraps. I mean, whatever. It's great. So that little guy, and that's probably what I would consider, or maybe some chalk paint and Dollar Tree lace. I feel like with those supplies, did I say twine? And twine, if I didn't say twine. Okay, how do you come up with your ideas? That is a good question. I would say probably 75% of my ideas come from me going to a craft store with something that I know I want to make. So say it's a wreath. I'll say, okay, I want to make a wreath. Then I go to the store and I literally will go and just walk the store and in my head start just brain dumping and planning and trying to figure out what I could make. That's probably 75% of it. Some of it is stuff I see around my house that I want to revamp or come up with something new. I do scroll Pinterest a lot. Funny enough, I do not watch YouTube to get ideas of stuff I want to make. I watch it just because I like to watch what other people make. But most of the ones I watch, I don't actually go and make them, even though I would love to. I just watch them because I want to see how other creative people make stuff. If I want inspiration most of the time, I go to Pinterest. And I do try to tell you guys if it's not my original idea, let you know, or, you know, if it's not my idea, I'm certainly going to tell you, hey, I didn't come up with this. So, but most of it, I try really hard to just go and just let myself be in a creative place. Sometimes I will sit down and that's what I have this. It's like a brain dump book where I'll say, you know, I want to make a wreath and I will write down every possible thing I could think of having to do with wreaths. And then from there, I'll go to a craft store and they'll start narrowing it down. So that's just how my brain works. It's probably not how most people work, but I don't know. I don't know. I just guess I don't know. It's probably weird, but that's how I do it. Okay, what is your craft notebook? Okay, so yeah, I've shown you guys this before. This is a Scribbles That Matter bullet journal, and I just bought it on Amazon. And what this is so like if I have a brain dump, let's see, do I have one in here I can show you guys? Yeah, like, okay, so there's here's a sketch. Like one day I was just sitting watching TV and I just was sketching out. I wanted to make a new pool cue holder. So this is what this is. If I start to have an idea, I just sketch it down somewhere and then at some point I'll come back and, you know, revisit this. Once I know for sure and narrowed it down, then I go into my craft notebook. And basically why I make this is, A, it's a scrapbook of everything I've made. And B, if someone sees something, oh, sorry, off the camera. If someone sees something that they really like, I have all the notes and I won't have to try to remember what I did, because half the time when you're crafting, it's a learning process and you may not think to do something until after you've done it. So then the next time, if you make notes about it, you'll know to do it the right way or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, so basically they're all set up the same way. It's color coded up here based on like whatever holiday, home decor, whatever. I list out the supplies, I have a sketch, and then I take a final picture of it on my phone and just print it out on my little HP Sprocket. And these are like little sticker things, which I really like, and I slap it in there. And there you go. That's my craft notebook. Yeah, so I really like it. People at Hobby Lobby always stop me and they're like, oh my gosh, can I see that? So I think it's a neat way to kind of write all your stuff down. What is your favorite brand of chalk paint? Okay, so I use Annie Sloan, the Rust-Oleum chalked, and I do like the Waverly chalk paint from Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart. I am a Target person, but occasionally there's some stuff I just have to get at Walmart. So when I go, I will stock up on a little bit of their Waverly. I can't say that I prefer one over the other. I will say though, with the Annie Sloan, I typically only buy that one if it's a certain color that I need. If I can't find it in any other color, because it is a higher price point. It's like almost triple, well, maybe not triple, but I think it's like $28.95 or something for the small thing, and you can get the Rust-Oleum one for like 14 bucks. So anyway, that's, if you see me use Annie Sloan, it's just because I needed it for a certain color. So typically, I guess I'd say chalked, the Rust-Oleum chalked and the Waverly from Walmart are the ones that I like to use. Do you do a lot of projects that use power tools? So we actually do, I do have some projects that do power tools. I am afraid of saws, like hardcore. We do have a full workshop downstairs. So if it involves using our miter saw or our table saw, I always have my husband cut it. I did get a scroll saw for Christmas. That one I'm totally fine using, not afraid of that. Can't wait to start doing projects with that. But one of the things is if, and I don't know if you've noticed on my channel, but the projects that are, you have to have certain tools that obviously cost more money, like power tools or a Cricut or a Silhouette. Those type of DIYs I typically don't put on my channel unless I can offer you guys an alternative, just like those, the little Valentine Advent I showed you. I mean, I knew I was going to use a power tool, but I didn't know that all of you guys may have that or feel comfortable using one. So that's why I came back and said, here are the other options. So that's one thing I try really hard to do on my channel, if you haven't noticed, is if it's something that's specific to a certain tool or something like that, that the majority of people won't have, I will always try to give you other options. Those projects where there just aren't any other options, those are the ones I usually will post a picture on Instagram or on Facebook, and if someone asks about them, then it gets put on my chit chat list, and then I just talk you through it. So I don't know if I answered your question. So yes, we do power tool options. Yeah, but if it has to do with the saw, I have to get my husband involved because those saws scare me. Okay, what's your favorite type of food? Mexican. I know, you know, Mexican, I could eat that all day long. What do you do with all your DIYs? I keep some of them. I probably keep about 50% of them. I gift or give away, I don't know, about 25% of them. And the other 25, I'll donate. And I like I mentioned before in that, I think the last video, Dollar Tree DIYs are the best ones to just do a little random act of kindness and go donate them to a nursing home, a retirement village, hospital waiting rooms, something like that. So that's typically what happens. I do not sell, I don't sell my stuff. If someone asks me to make them something, of course, I mean, I'll make it, and then I just usually ask for them to reimburse me and, you know, supplies, because I do enjoy doing it. So I don't sell my crafts at this point. I've had a lot of people ask me to buy things from me, and I'm just not quite there yet, but maybe down the line. I don't know. Do you plan to use your blog some more? That is the question of the day. I know I've said in a couple different videos, I'm like, I'm going to use the blog. Yeah. I can't quite best utilize the, the problem with the blog is that if you do the YouTube video, you've got to film, you've got to edit, you've got to voice over. If you do it with the blog, you're basically doing the same thing. I mean, you've got to put the then you got to do pictures, then you got to write it all out. And so it's basically, you're doing kind of the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out how I could use my blog that would be like a support to my YouTube channel. And so I'm thinking more along the lines of putting printables up there, like the supply list, like I did for a little while, templates that I may use. If not, I may take the blog down and then on my Facebook group in the files, make that where you can print out the supply list, any templates for projects, that kind of stuff. So I'm still kind of working that out. Yeah, I'm sorry about the blog, guys. I really don't know. I don't know where it's going yet. I'm not ready to give up on it yet, but I just don't know how to best incorporate that. Where do you get most of your craft supplies? Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Dollar Tree. I do have a Joann's here, but it is north of I-10, and even though it's only like 3.5 miles from my house, it would take me 45 minutes to get there because the traffic in Houston sucks. So it sucks all day long. It just sucks. So yeah, those are typically the 3 places I get my craft supplies. Let's see, a couple more questions here. What did you do before YouTube? I taught 4th grade in Austin, Texas, and then I became a mom. And then I currently, and for the last 7 years, I think, work part-time for our school district in the GT department. I'm kind of like a consultant. I do testing for them. So yeah. And then what standard supplies do you always buy at Dollar Tree? That was a good question. Yes, when I go to Dollar Tree, there's usually certain things I always buy a couple of just to keep stocked up. The nautical rope, twine, mason jars. What else do I buy at Dollar Tree? Can't think of any. Oh, glue dots and the lace. Those are probably ones, if they have it, I usually buy at least 1 pack each time I go to keep stocked up because I do use those quite often. I think that's it. I think those are all the questions. Yep, that's it. So there you go. A little bit more information about me. If you have any other questions or want to know anything, feel free to leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for your support. I'm just blown away by how sweet you guys are to me. It really means a lot. Creeping up on 10,000 subscribers, I can hardly believe it. So I'm trying to work on starting to plan a giveaway for 10,000. So that's just so exciting. But anyway, all right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. See you later.